Hey there, it is Colin from Thrive Themes, and today I want to quickly introduce another Thrive Themes membership interview. Now today we have Tobias, and it was an incredible time speaking with him and getting to know him, and he has an awesome story. He breaks down so many different things in this interview that you can take away. He talks about his story, how he got started as a musician, and then turned his skills as a very talented guitar player into a real online business, and how he actually turned that online guitar business into multiple other successful online businesses. So this interview is jam-packed full of so many key lessons, whether it's how to leverage paid advertising, how to really pick and find the right niche for you, and how he really leverages the Thrive Themes toolkit, whether he's using Architect, Theme Builder, Optimize, Ultimatum, Leads, or any of the other tools that we have here in the membership. So I'm gonna stop talking here, get out of the way. Without further ado, here is Tobias. Thanks for being on the call here today, Tobias, and welcome to this interview. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for having me. How are you, Colin?
I am doing awesome. Super glad to have you here, and I can't wait to get into the questions. So I want to start off with asking a great, juicy question here right out of the gate. So what I want you to kind of just give a little bit of background and explain a little bit is how you took your main business and then subsequently smaller, and some of those grew much larger businesses, from 0 to 1. So what was like the first step to get from, I don't know what I'm doing online, to I made $1, I made my first sale or first client? Walk us through that story and what that process was like.
Yeah, so basically when I first started, I took a business from 1 to 0. So basically we founded a company back in Berlin, like an online music school, so to say. We got some venture funding, but then after 3 years, we didn't get the follow-up investment, didn't meet our revenue goals, and had to close this down. And basically then there was kind of the gap, and I was like, oh shoot, what should I do? Kind of broke. And then I was like, okay, I kind of want to take the same concept, but without starting like a big business again with employees. And I just wanted to live this like digital nomad life, you know, solo entrepreneurship, and be completely responsible for just my own business. And then I basically put this concept, and while that, during that time, I grew my YouTube channel as well. And so I was like, okay, I want to monetize my own audience over there. So people want to learn how to play this fancy fingerstyle stuff, banging on your guitar. And then I started to build my own online guitar academy. And this was basically my first business that I launched in 2015. And yeah, this was the business I made my first dime with, so to say.
And just to correct, you've been a musician for a very long time, right?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 14. And yeah, just a lot of like electric guitar for 10 years, and then totally switched into modern percussive fingerstyle. And yeah, I kind of wanted to basically make it as a musician, so to say. And then I grew my own YouTube channel, my own following, and had some success in the music scene, so to say, within my niche. And then I kind of started a side business at the same time. So yeah, that was basically my concept. So being a musician on the one hand, but the business owner on the other hand as well. So I always was kind of juggling two different identities, so to say.
Right, I was gonna say, so you wanted to be, growing up, like, you know, teens and probably early 20s, you wanted to be like a musician. Like you wanted to tour, travel, make records, and do, and like in like a fingerstyle, create original tracks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. First with my band, and then as a solo guitarist. But then I kind of got a glimpse of the music industry. I wanted to work inside the music industry, started working at Warner Music as well. So I got some of the business insights, and I was there while they did the contracts with Spotify, which was a startup coming up. And then I got this kind of entrepreneurial spirit, and I was like, dude, I want to launch something. I want to do something on my own. So, but in combination with music, that was basically what I wanted to do. And this is how it then happened.
And then, so then you were kind of in the music industry, and you kind of like, you were a musician, and you kind of, okay, here's the business side, but you didn't really ever explore. You kind of felt you always wanted to learn and be in business, but you didn't really understand how. And your startup that you had, that was also in the music industry, correct?
Yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, an online music school, so to say. So teaching people how to play instruments like piano or guitar or bass guitar, drums, and stuff like this. But more general.
Just at a much larger scale though. So it wasn't like a niche. It was like basically what you have now, but trying to be for everybody and really big, instead of like small and for a very specific type of customer. You were trying to like, let's go big scale, have all of Europe and all this stuff. That was the goal, right?
Exactly, absolutely. And this was one of my biggest mistakes. So we basically wanted to focus on everyone, but in the end, we didn't like appeal to anyone. And now with my Fingerstyle Academy, I just go all like a niche down and I just focus on modern percussive fingerstyle guitarists. So I don't even teach beginners how to play. So you need to play at least a year to be able to do my lessons. And so this is basically the niche I really conquered. And I think it's super important to really have a niche that you can dominate. So be the big fish in a small pond rather than a small fish in a big fish. No, wait, how was it? It's
small fish in a big pond in the ocean. And then one thing I want to point out for everyone watching and listening to this, a key thing that he just said is he started very broad, and the consensus, if you want, the common thinking is if you want a big business, you need a big niche, you need a big pool of customers. And it's actually the opposite, especially with an online business. You want to start as narrow as you go, is so narrow that it hurts. You're like, oh man, there's only like a handful of customers. Then once you nail that, you can either A, realize the market's bigger than you thought, or B, you can expand into a sub-market. So you could teach other guitar styles, but you found that actually percussive fingerstyle modern guitar is big enough. Like there's actually a lot of people that want to learn just that, let alone electric or blues or these other styles. You can stay right in your lane. And that's a really key lesson for anyone starting. It's like you went for the home run swing, realized it wasn't all what it was cracked up to be, and then you found your success really narrowing down.
Yeah, so it's definitely much easier as well to have success in a niche because you really know your audience, and it's much easier to basically get known inside a niche than it's like if you want to be the next Rihanna or pop star, like the competition is tough. It's really hard. But if you want to go in a small sub niche, it's way easier to become famous in there or make it.
Exactly. And walk us through so a little bit more of the details of from when you started creating fingerstyle content or making music, how long did it take you from there to get your first sale and your first actual course sales of the Fingerstyle Academy?
I think it took me around 1 year. So I started in February 2015, and I launched the Academy in August the same year. So I basically spent a lot of time in the studio recording all the video lessons. I did some audience research. I built up the site. Basically at that time, I learned how to use WordPress and set up my own site. So this was all a steep learning curve.
Musician turned solopreneur, having to learn like, what's hosting? What's all this stuff? I'm just used to YouTube. Like you're used to like, if you want, YouTube is like all you know how to manage. And it's like, whoa, there's a lot more over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So about 9 months is what it took. So 9 months to get there. And so from about 2016 2016, what was the 2015? Yeah. What was the turning point from where you got a sale and then like, oh, this is a real like income, like a real business? How long did that progression take?
1 day, basically.
1 day.
As I launched, it was like a sustainable income. So that was the nice thing about it. That I could really just focus on the business. But then there was like, of course you go through a growth phase in different stages. And then at some point your business may like stay on the same level. But actually this year I took a big leap. But when I launched, it went kind of far. So you can set up a business quite fast nowadays. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So the key thing that I know you did that you didn't mention, but it goes without saying, is it's because you had that audience. You built that audience of people. And as soon as you launched the Academy, you had an audience ready to buy your course. You had people watching fingerstyle videos, whether it was an original track or it was a tutorial lesson or teaching them how to play. They were ready to they looked at you as an expert in this topic and were ready to buy. That's why it's like, oh, well, day one, it was like, instead of building this immaculate course that maybe no one wanted, you like, people want this, I'm good at this, I can teach this, here it is.
Yeah, but there's a really interesting shift because this is how I started my first business. So I had an existing community and I had a really strong YouTube channel already. So I could basically redirect my traffic to my landing page, collect leads. But then after that, I started my other business, the Fanbase Academy, which basically helps musicians to market themselves online, have success on YouTube and all that. And when I launched this, I noticed that none of my existing followers didn't care about this. So I was like, okay, wait, all my email lists are basically guitarists and they want to learn how to play, but they're not interested in marketing their music and becoming successful. They just wanted to play the guitar and have fun. And I was like, dude, okay, wait, I have this completely new course and program over here, but my existing community is not really responding to this. And then that was a time when I totally got into paid advertising and leveraging Facebook advertising. And this is when I really learned that you don't even need to have an organic following. And this is one of the biggest mistakes, I think, or one of the biggest myths out there when it comes to business education, that so many gurus out there preach to build a big audience before you launch a product. But you can do it the other way around as well without having any followers. And that's the fun part, because you just need to find a problem basically people have and then market it via paid advertising. And as soon as you can turn $1 into $3 or even more, you have a successful business and you can scale it up. And that's super interesting. So right now my new ventures, like, it took less than 3 months to bring them from 0 to 10K per month and without an existing audience. And so both ways work. And of course, it's great to to build an audience as well and get organic traffic, but don't focus on building your following for 3 years and then plan
before you sell anything. Right. Exactly. And the key is like you build an audience once. You realize, okay, I want to launch Fanbase Academy. I want to have this other business. Well, to build an audience like you had for the fingerstyle audience would take years to get to that level. And it may never actually get there because you're selling to a way different type of person who way different kind of content. Like, you're not going to play guitar for the fan base. You're going to teach them business and teach them marketing. So it's a totally different type of content, totally different type of business. And you're like, how can I shortcut this? So audience works great for this topic, but maybe it's not the fastest way or the most efficient way to get where I want this to be. And you had a goal clear, like, yeah, you want the nomadic life. Yeah, you want to have these things. You're not interested in like, I've got to make 15 videos this week, 3 fingerstyle videos, 3 videos about the fan base. That wasn't the life you wanted to live. So you had a clear goal of like, I want this product is valuable. I know that people need this. I need to reach them. What's the fastest way? And in your case, it was paid advertising.
Absolutely. And because I like when you were talking about like building or creating all these videos, this is basically you're creating work for you're working for your business. And I wanted to turn it around. I wanted to have a business that works for me. And using paid advertising really helps to accomplish this. Otherwise, you're just a content creator creating content day in and day out. And then you're kind of a slave of your own business. And then it can start to suck, and it's not fun anymore. And I was always like, I want to automate my businesses 100%. So totally hands off, that I can go abroad, fly wherever I want and just optimize, but have like this system in place that brings in revenue. And this is like what is achievable so easily nowadays and with great tools. And this is what's so much fun to do, actually.
Absolutely. All right. So Tobias, what I want to ask you next is, what are the other software tools that you used before you found Thrive Themes?
So when I started out, I was broke, so to say. And I basically went for the cheapest option, I think, back then, and was Optimized Press and Optimized Member. And this basically allowed me to build my first own membership site. And I used their page builder. And after a while, I was kind of stuck into the entire system because I built my entire business on this platform, and I hired a coder to do some CSS work and some customization. So it was all entirely kind of custom, but I was kind of trapped in there. And then I noticed that they were kind of falling behind. I always felt like that on the technology side, I'm kind of some years behind. And then I noticed other things like Divi or Elementor or even Thrive. And I kind of observed them, watched some tutorials. And at some point I really noticed that I need to make a shift. And with another business, I tried Divi Builder. And for example, with them, it's like they have awesome designs, but I felt they are super for local businesses, like if you have a hair salon or a bakery, they have nice templates, nice designs, but when it comes to marketing and just including a pop-up, it was kind of complicated, and I was kind of really bummed, because it's just like I had the feeling, and all the templates are just for local businesses. And then I kind of tried Elementor, which is a really nice page builder as well. But in the end, I totally used Thrive Themes, because it just, when it comes to marketing, it's super important, or it's super helpful to have all the plugins and all these features in one place. Otherwise, you have to like take the plugin here, another plugin there or here, then you put them together, then it doesn't really work together.
You hope it works, you're praying.
Yeah. And then it was like so great to have like a theme builder who has like not just a great content builder, but as well all these amazing tools like Thrive Automatum, which basically replaces Deadline Funnel, or like really powerful lead opt-in forms, like you can like, and like the split testing, A/B testing is so much work. So all these features together are just like make you so strong when it comes to getting your business out there. And so this was which really, what really sold me on going with Thrive Themes. And I'm super happy. And they just really empower you as a business owner and give you just like, yeah, everything, like the power in your hands, and you can all do it without needing a coder or needing to buy into different marketing plugins or SaaS products or whatsoever. So this was really what sold me on Thrive Themes. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely try to keep it effective, simple to use, and affordable, like that trifecta, because we see a lot of other SaaS companies that are outrageously expensive, and some of them are good, but are they really worth it? That's up to you. And then you also get the flip side of the spectrum, where it's like, man, I got to hobble together 6 different tools and hope that they actually all work and none of them interfere. Like that's the nature of WordPress. And we've tried to make the membership so that we can, okay, everything we believe that you actually need, not the fluff, not the fun stuff, the stuff that actually gets results. So countdown timers, A/B testing, building your sales pages, having templates in Thrive Architect for your sales pages, your landing pages, you know, all these different things that we have that actually move the needle, which is exactly what you want. Like you structured your life around moving the needle, not about, oh, it looks pretty. It's like, great. Did it make money? Are the customers happy? That's all that matters. Like, good to go. And that's why you're a perfect example of why the tools that are in the membership are in there, not just for randomness. They're there for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So how long have you been a Thrive Themes member?
I think I made this switch in 2019, at the beginning of 2019, I think. Yeah. So
about a year and a half.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Okay. And so your current basically tech stack is all your landing pages, sales pages, and all your front end stuff is all Thrive Themes, all your websites and everything.
Yeah, of course I have WordPress hosting. Then I have most of the front end is based on with you guys. And then I have like for the membership, I have Memberium, and ActiveCampaign. Like ActiveCampaign is the heart of my business. And with the membership plugin, Memberium, I can basically control my membership site via tags, which is super convenient. Yeah. So it's not like a plugin like MemberMouse or what's other plugins out there that basically, yeah, suck your customers in their database. And if you want to make a switch, it's kind of impossible. And so with Memberium, you basically use your CRM, so your ActiveCampaign, as your membership, and you can basically just give a user a tag, and then he gets access to whatever you specify. And so that's super lightweight and super convenient. So Thrive Themes, Memberium for the membership, or I use LearnDash inside for the cost structure, Thrive Cart. People always
not us, by the way. Yeah, totally separate company.
So yeah, for the checkout and the funnel after the checkout, order bumps and all that stuff. So this is actually my tech stack. Yeah.
Yeah, very simple. So with Thrive Themes, it takes away like 80+% of the stuff you need, and then some of the random little back-end things you have other plugins. But instead of having to have 25, you can have just a handful of tools you have to worry about, and that makes it much, much better. So what I want to transition into now is I want to have you give some specific examples. So just a couple examples of specifically how the Thrive Leads tools or the Thrive Themes tools helped you grow your business. So it could be maybe a split test you ran, results on a sales page, Give a specific example of how it actually helped your business grow.
Yeah, first example, or most importantly, it's for me to have an easy to use content builder to make nice pages, because I'm from the artistic side, like I'm a guitarist, and I love like when things look good as well, but of course you shouldn't like focus too much on it. But for me, it's really important. So of course to have, and it should be fast. So having a fast, responsive site that looks nice is important. And so this is everything Thrive Architect gives me basically. And then when it comes to leads, I, of course, use Thrive Leads. And the power there is what I think is really the two-step opt-in forms. So what I use often is to split test, or to, the split test function to split test my opt-in forms. For example, what I did was I had just I always use these pop-ups that are triggered on the click on the on a button. And then you have this opt-in form pop-up. And then I basically did a split test, and instead of just offering the form to enter your email address and your name, I added like a step before that. And that was basically what your current level of playing the guitar is. And then you could click 3 buttons, either you're a beginner, you're advanced, intermediate, or advanced. And then I split tested this and found out that basically if you ask, like, or if you have people to do something to make a micro commitment before, it increases your conversion rate. So once somebody clicks on a button, for example, say, hey, I'm a beginner, and then goes to the second step where they can fill in their details, they have already committed, and then they are more likely to sign up. And for example, this is really good to increase your conversions, and as well, of course, to test your landing pages. And I can really recommend everyone test your landing pages. There are huge differences. For example, with my, it was a landing page for my Fingerstyle Academy. I did a split test, and usually people say like, just test one single thing, like like an image or the
one
headline,
variable.
But I always start broad. So I, for example, designed 2 completely different landing pages and test them against each other. Because if I just have one landing page and then just split test the headline, maybe the whole landing page doesn't convert well. And so I basically test 2 completely different pages against each other. And I noticed, for example, a difference between almost 10%. I think I have to look up the stats, but I think it's 8, 9, or even 10% difference just using a different landing page. And then you get, if you have your winner, then you can go deep and test, for example, just different images or a different headline and so on. So try to always optimize by using split tests. So this is a feature I really love, and that really helps to get more leads and in the end more money. So definitely, if you're not split testing your landing pages and your opt-in forms, you're missing out. Start doing it.
Exactly. And you can do it small too. It's really easy within Thrive Architect using Thrive Optimize, and within Thrive Leads, you can easily run these tests right within Thrive Leads. And all this is included in the membership, obviously, but it makes it so simple to, there's no third-party tools you got to embed. It's just in your WordPress dashboard, which is like a lifesaver for people who don't want to deal with, like, I have to learn this other SaaS product and embed all these codes and scripts. It's like, no. Just pick what pages you want to test, pick which opt-in forms you want to run test against, and let the test run. And you have reliable data that you know that you can trust and make decisions from. So awesome examples of how you like tangibly took, how can I get more opt-ins? You'd think like the conventional logic is you add more steps, conversion rate goes down. Well, in your case, the exact opposite happened. You added a step, it went up. And the only way to do that is by actually running the test. And you wouldn't have ran it if it would have been hard. If it would have been difficult to run, you'd be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to buy another tool that costs $100 plus per month just to run this one test. Like, you don't even know if it's worth it. And absolutely, lo and behold, right within the membership, you could just run the test, good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes it very easy. And so you're running tests through all of your businesses, right? So Fingerstyle Academy, Fanbase Academy, you run split tests, and you're doing that with all of them?
Yeah, mostly. I started just, not too recently, but last year with it. Before, I didn't do it as well. And I think a lot of people don't do it because they're too lazy, or I wouldn't say lazy, but maybe too overwhelmed, or maybe too scared, or they just don't know how it works. And then they're like, I don't do it. It's fine like this. But then you're really missing out. So, and I notice it really, and it's fun if you see the results. So to do it. So yeah, I'm doing it. now.
You see it work. You're like, wait a minute. I think I'm going to keep doing this. Like I'm going to keep trying to improve this opt-in rate here. So that's
Absolutely.
good. Okay. So next I want us to transition just a little bit. And this is going to be a little bit broader of a question. And it may have to do with software and it may not. I want you to tell me, maybe you have more than one example, but one big example of an obstacle that you had to overcome in your business. So it could be anything from the Fingerstyle Academy, the fan base, revenue, peaks and valleys, whatever the case is. What's a big obstacle that you've had to overcome?
So one is definitely in the beginning, it was like this, having so many tools and so many options and so many plugins that you could use. And basically it's like a jungle out there, and then to find the right things that really work together. So I think when you just start out, it's kind of overwhelming. And when I, for example, have some talks or I talk to people, they're always interested in my tech stack, because it really helps them to see what other people are using, because it's kind of the recommendation, because it's a pain to figure that out yourself, because you never know. And then you pay for some tool, and that's not even the worst part. The worst part, if you work like half a year to implement it and have all the things ready, and then just notice, okay, that's a wrong tool, the wrong plugin, and then you want to make the switch. Good luck with that. Like that's one time I started using ClickFunnels, but I was, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I tried ClickFunnels as well, but it was kind of like, it's a nice tool, but totally overpriced for what it delivers. And then I was like, man, I can just use ThriveCart and Thrive themes, pay much less and have the same and even better functionalities. So, and I did this switch. Like the Fanbase Academy was first on ClickFunnels, and then I basically rebuilt it on WordPress with Thrive themes. And that took really, took a while. So for me, that was definitely an obstacle to find my right tech stack. And on the other hand, it was like automating my business, because in the beginning, when you run your business, kind of you're the man for everything. It was just like 2 hours a day with customer support, my emails and all that stuff. And at one point I went on Nomad cruise. Basically it's a cross-Atlantic cruise for digital nomads. And then we didn't have any Wi-Fi over there for around 10 days. And I was like, oh
man,
my God, what should I do? Like I have customers, people coming in because I have these evergreen funnels. And then I just gave my email account basically to my assistant. I was just like, okay, pretend you're me and take over. And basically even now he's just in charge of all the customer support and emails. So I think that was one challenge as well, to let go of responsibility and start outsourcing as well, and building a small team around you that helps you basically maintaining and marketing your business. And this is really important. Don't do everything yourself. You can do it, of course, if you want to learn everything and do it. And some people love it, but I think you kind of hinder yourself or block yourself from achieving more. When I just remember how much time I spent figuring out everything myself, or just doing the maintenance work, I think that was a big challenge as well, to automate everything so that you really have a business that makes money for you, instead of just building yourself another position, like in a company. Like you're part of a company, but you want to be separate to your company. So here's your company and this is me. And even if I sleep, the company makes money. And it's not like, okay, my company and we are kind of merged. And if I sleep, my company doesn't make money, or the customer requests pile up, or stuff like this. So yeah, letting go actually of your business and making sure you automate it. These are, I think, two hurdles I definitely have.
And one more I want you to, I know we briefly spoke about, is I want you to talk about what the obstacle was like when you saw the kind of organic revenue of the Fingerstyle Academy drop, and what you kind of did this year. Like what was you saw the revenue kind of be stagnant, and then kind of the average became lower and lower and lower, and then what you did to get it back up.
Yeah, this year, I think I quadrupled my revenue, and it was just from one day to the other. It's really crazy. And it's like, what I did, I just changed the business model. And in the beginning, I had a membership side. So people pay a monthly fee, 19 or 29 bucks, or yearly fee. And I basically, I can talk a lot about this, but it's like how you frame your value. Like everything you say, you can put it in a book, and people pay 20 or 30 bucks for it. You can use the same knowledge and put it into a course, and people pay like 200 or 500 bucks for it. And you can use this very same knowledge and make a live workshop or a seminar and charge 2,000 bucks for it. It's the same knowledge basically, but it's how you frame it. And I found that if you have a membership site, I basically framed my content in a less valuable way, because if you pay on a monthly basis, you need a reason to keep on paying. And for example, just one of my courses has around 10 hours, not the fingerstyle, another course. And I could never justify like having people like pay me month after month for 10 hours. When they're through with it, they're through. But I can sell it as a one-off for 300 bucks because that's the value of the course. So I noticed, okay, wait, a course model has a much higher perceived value for less content than a membership site, because on a membership site you expect people to have tons and thousands of tutorials. And so I basically put my membership into an online course, and instead of offering people to pay a monthly fee, I just said, okay, 200 bucks, you get lifetime access to all the lessons, which are basically now a closed academy program, which makes the offer super attractive because they get lifetime access to over 400 guitar tutorials and all my stuff, for just a small fee in relation. And I switched, I used a webinar funnel more or less, or like a training video, and started paid ads. So I went from a membership site to course business model, and I changed the marketing and used, before I just had a landing page and a sales page, and basically people could read through it and buy. But now I'm really having a 1 hour long or 40-minute long webinar where I really show people behind the scenes. I have testimonials and really kind of personally sell the academy, and use paid ads, and even totally strangers convert like crazy. And it's always the thing, like I said, you just have keep in mind, if you spend $1 and you get $5 back, that's amazing. And then you can scale it up. And so this is what I did this year, and it really opened my eyes, like what small changes can do. And it's literally overnight. It's crazy.
Yeah, I really love that analogy of how like it's the same content, it's just how it's perceived. It's like, that's so true. I've read books that are like, I would have paid a fortune for that book. They should have just done a live event because I would have went. Like they should have just went all the way. And it's really like that, how you package it. And one thing that, we talk about a lot at Thrive Themes is like membership sites are great, but it's definitely not, in my opinion, and also at Thrive, it shouldn't be the backbone of a content business, like an education company, because like if you did 19 bucks a month, someone would have to stay for 2 years before they would be as valuable as someone who just bought it one time, lifetime access. So for them, it hits their credit card every month, and it's like, but do I need to keep this? No. And for you, it's like, well, you get more revenue, and then they don't have to worry about paying you month after month. It's like clean transaction, and they get value, you get value.
Absolutely. And the really great thing is that when you use paid ads, you want to see quickly if your ads are profitable or not. If you just charge 19 bucks, and let's say you pay per customer 40 bucks, your customer acquisition cost or whatsoever, you need like some month until you see if your return on investment is positive or not. And now it's like you have a small window of 3 to 4 days to convert or not. And then it's closed and you cannot get the price. And so I know within 3 days if my ads are working or not. And this is super powerful. And this is another reason why it's super important, because you want to keep an eye on your conversion, and you need to know how you're performing, like on Facebook, or if you use Google ads as well.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention to people watching, because a lot of people in our audience are not, their first kind of dipping their toe in the water into getting traffic and sales is not using paid advertising. It's actually content and organic methods. But a key thing to remember with paid advertising is if you already have the right offer, if you have these things figured out, paid advertising can start very, very small. You can start with smaller budgets, but there's some things that you pointed out that are really key that I want to make sure people understand is if you sell a product for $5 and you cost you 25 bucks to get the customer, like unless you're a venture-backed company, you're going to run out of money very, very quickly. So for a small business, solopreneur-based business online, you have to think of the margin. It's not that you're trying to get more money from your customers. It's you need the oxygen. You need the money to function. So if you charge 300 and you spend 50, there's 250 bucks that you can live, and the rest of it so you can improve your product, find more customers, help more people, and continue the cycle. So that's a good mindset to get into when it comes to paid advertising. It's not advertising. It's just creating customers, creating that margin so you can get more, build better products, and so on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the great thing is as well that you find a different audience. For example, when I noticed just my audience on YouTube, I'm kind of popular in like Brazil, Russia, or Vietnam, but these people don't buy. So I need to target people from Europe or the US who are willing to invest $200. And even I have each and every day I have 20,000 views on my channel. So other people would love to have this, but it's not converting. Like it's really bad. If you see my conversion rate from YouTube, it's ridiculous. And once I start running ads, it's amazing because I target different audience, an audience who's willing to pay for what I offer. And so this can be a mistake as well. Or at least a danger, if you run a podcast or have a nice blog, it can be popular, but that doesn't mean these people buy. So you might attract a lot of freebie seekers and people who just want to consume for free, but the people who would love your product haven't found your podcast or blog and are not looking for this. Maybe they have a family or everything, like what else, life comes in their way. And if you use Facebook ads, you pay to reach these people exclusively. And so this is, for me, just like a big eye opener and it works super well. So
yeah, something that Shane talks about and myself as well. We mentioned, not all audiences are created equally. And that's a prime example. Like raving fans that want to watch and listen to your music, but they don't want to spend any money with you. They're not interested in buying. They may buy a song on iTunes for $1, but they're not going to buy, a course for $200. That's just not going to happen. So it's definitely good to have a distinction there. Now, the last question that I want to ask you here for this interview is if you could give any advice to people who are just getting started in their online business or someone who's been struggling to gain traction, what would that advice be?
I think the most important advice is that you first need to change your mindset. Like you can have all the technical know-how and whatsoever. I meet so many people I'm talking to that have business ideas and have big plans, but they just don't start, or they're afraid it doesn't work. And basically you are your own worst enemy and you're holding yourself back. So I think this is the most important thing to really shift gear and really focus on and do it, implement stuff, don't postpone, start, don't be scared. You can't try everything nowadays. We have the best tools available. So just start and get into a business mindset and a positive mindset, and don't limit yourself or think you're like, I cannot do it. I don't earn money online or whatsoever. So get rid of these negative thoughts. I think this is really important and should be the first. Then important is, of course, to find your niche, niche down, find your niche where you can kind of be somebody, niche you can dominate. That is important. Then a funnel is really important. Fix your funnel first, like have upsells, have order bumps, test products and whatsoever. Just having more traffic doesn't necessarily make you more successful. You can have less traffic and be super successful if you have a proper funnel in place, have a good business model, like I said, with a membership versus online course. Like think about how you frame your offer, have upsells, order bumps, like 30 to 40%, buy my order bumps for another $27. If you don't have order bump, you miss out. People buy order bumps. Once they're in buying mode and put out their credit card, they add more. And if you have more value to add or give it. Like it's a huge point where you can really miss out. What else? Automate is really, I think, a really important part. So don't work in your own business all the time. Try to get free, go on Upwork, find some assistants, some people that help you, even with Facebook ads. You don't have to learn them all yourself. Hire someone who is a specialist in that, who can help you with that and maybe gets a percentage, or hire an assistant for your customer support. You have really great people out there and great options. And this is what I think is really important and helped me to basically fully automate. Let me think, do I have anything else? One important thing is a lot of people think as well about ideas they have and think, oh, that would be so cool, but nobody wants it. So you need to have this product market fit. how we call it. It's basically you need to find a problem or provide a solution to a problem out there. This is really important. So if you have just an idea, but you don't have any proof that it works and people really want it, it can fail. For example, with my first startup, we had like a live lessons online like we do right now, you know. And I thought like, yeah, that's an amazing idea. People would love it. But we found out that nobody wants to learn guitar like this on instrument, and it's more like tutorial based. And then we pivoted, but we built an entire business. We took venture capital to build our dream without really testing if the people really want to have this. So this is really important, to go for the product market fit. So validate your offer before you put everything else in or go all in. Your course doesn't need to be perfect. You can improve it all the time. Just test it with a minimal viable product, have some people in there, find your first, so your focus should be on the first 10 customers. That's it. That should be your main focus. You need to be able to convert 10 people. Otherwise, you're having a different kind of problem.
Exactly.
And in the end, it's like when it comes to building an offer, it's always like you have to bring people from state A to state B. So it's like they're in a, like, let's say, bleak, not so happy state right now, and you want to bring them to the happy future. And basically your product is a bridge and should help people to get to the B state, like to the happy, bright future. And this is where you should focus your marketing message and your wording on. A lot of people I see selling their products, but people don't really buy your product. They buy the outcomes, you know, what your product enables them to do. And so focus your marketing on the transformation and the outcome, how they are after they experience a product. And then your product will basically sell itself, because they see that, oh, I need that bridge, that product, in order to get to my desired state. So don't like focus on all your features, how amazing your video quality or whatever is. Like focus on how people change after they go through your program or use your product or whatsoever. So I think these are some of the most important tips that come in my head right now. And of course, use paid. Don't be afraid to use paid advertising. It really works. It can work well. Test it. And yeah.
That's awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to end on that note, and we're going to wrap this up. So again, Tobias, thanks so much for taking the time to do this interview here. And last thing is, where would you like people listening and watching this to check you out?
Oh yeah, you can definitely, if you're a musician or if you want to hear my music, check out my YouTube channel. You can watch this. I think you're going to link it. You can find me on Instagram as well. You can, if you're a musician and you want to learn modern percussive fingerstyle, check out my fingerstyle guitar academy, fingerstyleacademy.com. If you want to learn how to do online marketing, market yourself online, especially if you're a creative or a musician, check out fanbaseacademy.com. We had as well like another online venture was called Digital Lifestyle Conference, where we even interviewed Shane. Yep, so it's all about like location independent entrepreneurship. You can check that out. And I think these are the most important things. Otherwise, if you're just interested in my music, check out my homepage, tobias-rauscher.com, and there you find as well links to all my stuff. And yeah, if you're interested in working with me, or just hit me up and send me a message, and I'm super accessible.
We'll link everything in the page below, and yeah, that way they can find anything about from guitar to Instagram to find the Digital Lifestyle Conference, so you name it. So again, thanks for taking the time. It was a pleasure, and yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.